Greetings, I'm Nalishebo Meebelo, and it's a pleasure to speak with you today. I am the Executive Director at the Regional Network of Agricultural Policy Research Institutes, ReNAPRI. ReNAPRI is a network of national agricultural policy research centers based in East, West, Central, and Southern Africa. We have a membership of 12 research centers, and these are based in 11 African countries. ReNAPRI is grateful to be associated with the Innovation Lab for Policy Research, Capacity and Influence, PRCI. We are a member of the PRCI consortium, and as a member of the consortium, ReNAPRI has benefited in a number of ways. And of course, this is with a focus on building our local capacities as research centers in Africa to be able to generate high quality evidence in support of policy making, and also with a view to ensure that we influence policy. And so our achievements under the support from PRCI include the establishment of the ReNAPRI Secretariat in 2019. And this secretariat runs the day-to-day activities of the network. We have developed the ReNAPRI Strategic Plan 2021 to 2026, launched last year in November, and lots of progress is being noted under the strategic plan. We are able to track progress of ReNAPRI's achievements day by day, and to attract the necessary partnerships and resources required for us to undertake our work as a network. As ReNAPRI, we lead in the development of our own research agenda annually, and also work with other partners such as the African Union Commission to work with their own needs in terms of research. In this case, we set the research agenda and then we invite collaboration from centers that are members of the PRCI consortium, but also we collaborate with centers that are not necessarily in the consortium of PRCI. We have built new partnerships in the African continent with African centers, thanks to PRCI, and these include PILAF at the University of Ibadan in Nigeria. We have partnered with ISRABAM in Senegal, as well as EPRC in Uganda. We are already working with some of these centers on a day-to-day basis, and we expect to induct 2 of these centers into the network of ReNAPRI very soon. And this is really exciting. ReNAPRI through PRCI participates in the Leadership Practice Index initiative under the PICA processes. And this is aimed at strengthening the capacities of our local leadership in our African-led research centers. I have participated in this initiative, and I have had the opportunity to evaluate my own capacities as a leader and identified where I need to strengthen my efforts. Finally, PRCI also supports our outreach activities, including the annual ReNAPRI Stakeholders Conference. So obviously, in this presentation, you note that there have been achievements under the PRCI model. And I think this is something that other donors, other partners, philanthropies, the private sector, and all those who are mandated to support Africa's food systems development, there's a lot that they can learn from the PRCI model. And so among the issues that we as ReNAPRI are grappling with when it comes to partnerships with other institutions that are not necessarily related to the PRCI support, we are saying that there is a need for us to see equitable allocation of funds from partners to both African institutions and international institutions in the north. And I'm talking about institutions that collaborate with African centers. Currently, we note that there is skewed support from our partners away from African institutions and more to international northern institutions. So while we know that we cannot work alone in a vacuum as African research centers, we appreciate partnerships with our international northern organizations. These partnerships need to perceive of us, African centers, African institutions, as co-equals in the business, and our partnerships should be seen to be equitable. And I'm saying this because our governments, our national governments, trust the outputs of our institutions. They appreciate the work that we do. They appreciate our recommendations. And so it's important that, we are provided and supported equitably as African centers. We need to be at the table from the onset when initiatives and research agendas are being conceptualized for Africa's agriculture food systems. There is a desire from us as ReNAPRI to have the capacity to influence policies. And I'm sure, initiatives such as PRCI have a focus on influencing policy. So as ReNAPRI, we seek to influence policies in our countries, and therefore the support that we are looking for from our partners is that of strengthening our research processes, particularly our ability to communicate our results for impact to our policymakers. We need to see the potential for our local institutions to be sustainable. It's one thing to provide support to African institutions, but it's another to ensure that you are providing support to institutions that are able to sustain over time. So that's important. Another issue that we would like to see is the issue of reciprocity. In other words, a two-way flow in these partnerships. And to achieve this, of course, as ReNAPRI, we understand that we need to strengthen our ability to engage with global partners, donors, philanthropies, the private sector, and other relevant international organizations that are mandated to support Africa's food systems development. So in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I said that under the PRCI consortium, we are supported with outreach activities. And one of those outreach activities is our annual ReNAPRI Stakeholders Conference. So allow me at this juncture, therefore, to invite you all to join us in Namibia, Windhoek, Namibia, from the 1st to the 3rd of November 2022, where we will be hosting the 9th edition of the annual ReNAPRI Stakeholders Conference. I will be excited to welcome you to the conference, and I hope we can continue this conversation on strengthening the capacities of local African institutions to be able to provide recommendations to our policymakers. Thank you for your kind attention.